When it comes to conversation, ain't no pretending. Don't get offended. It's just talk with Swank Wayne John. Hmm. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another video with your boy Swank. It's the first episode of Just Talk. I'm excited about it, y'all. This is some of the stuff that I wanted to get into. That I was telling y'all that we're gonna be discussing some stuff, and I didn't get a chance to put the video out yesterday. Just had a bad time recording and everything, but I'm back today. So first and foremost, let me say Happy Father's Day to all of the dads out there, and hope y'all enjoyed y'all special day. I enjoyed mine. Spent time with my son. We went out, got some things done, played a little bit, whatever, and had a grand old time. Um, didn't have anything special planned, but you know, it is what it is. Spend time with my son. That's special in itself. Couple things that I wanted to touch on, man, that kind of attempted to ruin my day. Uh, bitter people, bitter people, man. Um, I can't be too mad at y'all because I understand where all of the anger, frustration, all the vitriol comes from. I understand it for sure. I went through it myself. With my father growing up. So, I understand where the animosity comes from. I understand where the anger comes from. But people, Father's Day is not meant for the people who don't take care of their kids. Father's Day is not meant for the people who don't want to be fathers. Father's Day is not for those guys that can't call themselves a dad. Okay? Father's Day is not for the people who send a paycheck every month or every 2 weeks or whatever the case may be. The child support check. That's not what that's this is this that day is not for those guys. Now, me and my father, we talk now. We have a decent relationship. I call him. I get advice. So we're good. Just wanted to clear the air on that. On that, I don't harbor any hard feelings, any animosity, or anything like that. Because if I did, I'd be a fake person. I'm not a fake person. But anywho, um, getting back on topic, man. Yesterday, I did a lot of scrolling through my timeline on Facebook, just looking for all of my guys that are dads, that I wanted to, send a Father's Day shout out to and everything. And if I missed you, then, happy Father's Day to you. And I hope you enjoyed your day. I hope it was a blessed day. But, you know, sliding through my news feed on Facebook, I saw a lot of dissing, a lot of disrespect, a lot of dissing for dads out there, and it sours the day, man. We let y'all have Mother's Day, and I'm not trying to be controversial here. I'm just telling my truth. I'm just giving my opinion. Um, we let y'all have Mother's Day. We honor y'all on Mother's Day. All of the women that have kids and do go above, excuse me, go above and beyond for their children. We honor you, we adore you, we love you, we appreciate you, and we let you know that in thanking you in the phone calls, in the cars, and taking you out to eat. The special days we got planned for you, all of that. We give you that. So why is it that we can't have our day be the exact same thing? Like I said before, man, the Father's Day is not for those guys who are not in their children's lives. So let me enjoy my day. I don't want to hear you complaining and moaning about the dad that wasn't there for you. I don't want to hear you complaining about the father that's not there for your kids. Uh, I get that, some people play the role of both mother and father, um, or they say that they do. I don't believe in that, honestly. You can't be mother and father. You can only be a father, you can only be a mother. And if you're doing it by yourself, you're doing a damn good job and you're awesome and we love you for it. It just makes you that much better. If you're picking up the slack for the other parent in the relationship, uh, it just makes you that much better, that much more awesome. But it does not make you a father. It does not make you a mother. Let me get that clear. It makes you awesome for sure. I mean, I would say my mom is a saint. I would never call my mom my father though. There's a difference. Even if she taught me how to change a tire, even if she taught me how to uh you know put together whatever, hammer something together, if she taught me how to fix a bike, she taught me how to fix this or fix that, I would never call her my father because she's not my father. She's my mother. And I would never I would never call my father my mother in any if the roles were reversed. He's my father. And I think that everybody should understand that and know the difference. Like, yes, you are an awesome person. You are an awesome person. You are an awesome parent, but you are not a father if you are a mother. You are not a mother if you are a father. You should not be trying to downgrade the guys that are actually out here doing what they're supposed to be doing. And I can't sit here and say taking care of their responsibility or stepping up to the plate or any of those kinds of terms because that's not what we should be talking about. It's a shame that those are terms that we use for fathers in today's society. I don't understand how anybody, mother or father, can be okay with just leaving their kids or whatever. I mean, I understand there are certain circumstances where that's just not an option. You have to, but if you're able-bodied, if you are uh, if you are grown enough to lay down with somebody and you are you are more than capable of taking care of that child. And I'm not saying children having children, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like grown people, grown consenting people having a kid together. You know what I mean? Though that type of situation. If I'm 31 years old and I had a kid when I was 27. If I decided at 27 that I didn't want to be a father, then I had no business laying down with anybody. Because you lay down with somebody, that's the consequences. If I'm 14, 13, 14, whatever, yeah, I may have a parent in my life that's going to make me say that's going to make me do what I got to do. But in those situations, I'm a kid having a kid, so I mean, with no guidance, adoption or whatever that may be an option. That may be the only option. So I'm not talking about those special cases. I'm talking about a grown person with another grown person consenting to doing something that can create another life and then deciding to walk away from that life. I don't think you should have that option. Um, it's not a responsibility. It's not a duty. It's a given that you take care of your child if you decide to lay down with somebody and you produce a child. It's not an option. It's not a choice. It's just what you do. Simply put. And there are a lot of guys out there that are doing their thing, that are taking care of their kids. And I I was getting so frustrated because there's people on my timeline saying that there's certain people that shouldn't be celebrating Father's Day. That some certain people that better not be celebrating Father's Day. There's people out there taking credit for being a father for their children, or mothers out there taking credit for being fathers for their children. Just just it's more spite than saying I do a good job with my kids. Like, we know you guys do a good job with your children. That's why you have Mother's Day. And I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be inconsiderate. Uh I'm not trying to be condescending. I'm just saying You get your credit on Mother's Day. Let me get my credit on Father's Day. And yeah, you can sit here and tell me, you know, you can sit here and tell me all day till you're blue in the face that you taking credit for what I do shouldn't bother me. But let me do the same thing to you, and I bet you the roles would be reversed. I mean, I'm not going to ever say that. Like I said, I'm not a mother. I'm a father. Even if I have to pick up the slack for my son's mom at times, I'm still not going to say I play the role of mother. I'm his father. I'm his dad. More aptly put, father. That's kind of like a scientific term if you really want to break it down. But uh, for the most part, dad. I'm in my son's life. I'm active in my son's life. Whatever he needs, if I got it, he got it. And if I don't got it and he needs it, then I go without so that he can have whatever it is that he needs. And that's how it is with me. I I teach him, I play with him, I provide for him, all of that stuff. So whatever it is you can think of that a parent is supposed to do for their children, I do it. And I'm not bragging on anything. I'm not trying to get any credit for it or whatever. I'm just saying don't try and ruin my day by saying negative things about dads that deserve this day. We don't do it to you on Mother's Day. We love we love you, we honor you, we cherish you. You don't need to bring up men who don't fit the description of what it means to be a loving dad, a loving father. You don't need to mention those guys. And if you're upset about the fact that you have a father in your life like that, or you have not in your life, but if you're upset that you don't know your father, maybe your father wasn't in your life, maybe you have children with a dad who's not present for their children. If you're upset about that, like I said, I 100% feel you in my heart, in my soul, all of that. I really do. I've been through it, and it's not pleasant. It's not fun. I don't I don't I don't fault you for being upset about that. Because for a long time I was upset about that in my life, and I always wanted my dad to be in my life. And like when I was younger, and as I got older, it happened, and that's a blessing, and I can't be mad at that. Um, it was late, but it happened, and I love him for it. Love him for being around. Love him for being available for me to talk to him, and I want him to know that because I know he's gonna see this video. So I want you to know, Dad, that I love you, and I want to say Happy Father's Day to you again. But you know, it wasn't always peachy keen, man, and I learned a lot from it, and I'm still learning. There's things that I still need to figure out about myself because of the things that I've been going through, and not just that, but is we talking about fathers. So uh I'll keep it on that topic, but there's a bunch more stuff that I could probably talk about. I could go on forever about the stuff that I've gone through and learned from, but you know that's neither here nor there. I just was disappointed. I'm just disappointed every year in the amount of people that hold grudges and animosity and anger and frustration and just disdain on this day. Um, it's a shame that there are that many fathers who are not taking care of what they need to take care of. It's a shame that that you know there are so many role models that have to step in for the male that's supposed to be in that child's life that's not in that child's life. It's a crying shame. And I mean, I don't want to get too vulgar on the on this discussion, but I feel like that's a punk move, man. Especially if you never atone for it. It's a punk move. You're a punk if you ever walk away from your child and you have no desire whatsoever to be in that child's life. You're a punk, plain and simply put. But Father's Day is not the day to vent on that, people. Father's Day is not the day to vent on that. You can choose every other day of the year to vent and your frustrations on why you don't like the father that is not in your life, why you don't like your child's father. You got every other day in the year to do that. But yesterday, next year, year after that, none of that. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to see that. That's this Father's Day is not for them. Never has been for them. So please let us have our day. Let us be honored. Let us be loved. Let us be celebrated. Because we do the same thing for y'all beautiful, beautiful, strong women on Mother's Day every single year. And I have honestly yet to see any negative any negative statuses about moms on on Mother's Day. Uh, so I mean, let me fly, man. Let me fly, baby. Let me spread my dad wings and and soar and be great on that day. And then you can go back to hating. You can go back to your hate filled speech and all of that stuff. But if you gonna post a status about Father's Day, if you gonna reach out to somebody and say Happy Father's Day, say something, anything about Father's Day, then please let it be something positive. Find somebody that's actually doing something with their kids. Don't talk about how you see people pulling out pictures from years ago, acting like they've been in a child's life every day for their entire lives. Don't talk about that, because that ain't what this day is. That ain't what Father's Day is about. Daddy's Day is Daddy's Day. Let the daddies be daddies, and the ones that ain't daddies, may they go kick rocks with no shoes on, no socks, bloody toes, all that. Uh, Another thing that I wanted to touch on, and I know this video is running a little long. It's my first one, y'all, but uh, I'm trying to garner some discussion here, and hopefully this is it. But in light of the whole situation with Father's Day being yesterday and everything, I had some things on my mind, and co-parenting was another thing that I thought about that I wanted to discuss here. Let me get a swig out of my dad cup. Mm, that's good stuff. It's a little cocktail I mixed together. It's just apple juice and yeah, apple juice, cranberry juice, and some lemonade. It's pretty good. You should try it. Uh, but yeah, anywho, co-parenting, and I gotta be honest with you. As much as I love and cherish and care for my son, man, co-parenting is hard. It is difficult. I mean, there's so much stuff that that that's in the mix of what goes on between you and the other parent that ends up affecting the child. And it's unfortunate. I mean, if you are fortunate enough to be with to have had a child with someone, and y'all can be on the same page and y'all can get things done for the child on a consistent basis, then oh my God, I applaud you. Great job. I mean, you talking about spite, man. You talking about uh differences of opinion. You talking about differences in philosophies. You talking about differences in psyches, man. And all of that stuff mixed together it's like a powder keg sometimes. I gotta be honest with you, man. It's rough at times. And I'm not saying that it can't be done, and I'm not saying that it's all bad, because I'd be lying if I said it was all bad, and I'd be lying if I said that I was absolutely thoroughly convinced that my son's mom is a bad mom. Um, it's just differences in opinion, and the spite, and the anger, you know, all kinds of emotions and stuff that's mixed in it, man. And sometimes it can get ugly, and you find out things about people that you didn't know, especially when under the situation that I'm in, and under the situation that I was in, the circumstances I was in. I was a totally different person before my son was conceived. Um, I give you a little bit of background on myself. Uh, so I always been quiet, shy, stay to myself, and didn't talk to many people. I only have a few close friends, and it's been that way for my entire life, man. Um, so needless to say, being shy, being quiet, keeping to myself, uh, I haven't had I haven't had many girlfriends, and not too many girls would come and knocking on my door saying, you cute, I want to be with you, I want to talk to you, let's get to know each other, whatever. And I wasn't going knocking on too many girls' doors doing that either. And so, I what it all boils down to is I wasn't lucky with the females at all. Growing up, there was not a lot of girls interested in me. There was not. I don't have no game, none of that. I don't believe in spitting game and none of that stuff either. I feel like that's stupid. Like, if I can sit here and swindle you into being with me just because of the stuff that I say, then I think that your mind is probably not where I need it to be for us to be together and for us to work. Anywho, but uh, yeah, man, not a lot of girlfriends. So when I did have a girlfriend, or when I did find somebody that I wanted to talk to, it took a lot for me to approach a girl, like, a girl, or you know as I got older, women. Yeah, let me clarify that, because I'm not going after girls, I'm going after women. But anywho, yeah, there's not a lot of luck in that department. When I did have a girl, um, or did have a woman that I was interested in, I it took a lot for me to approach her. It took a lot for me to let her know that I liked her. It took a lot for me to pursue that, and it still does to some degree. Um, just because I'm not so much shy, but I'm looking for a specific um, kind of vibe from the woman that I'm going to be with. So I'm not just going to talk to anybody. But yeah, when I did, I'm gonna keep getting back to this. But when I did have somebody, things either went wrong, uh, or it just didn't work out, or after a few conversations, things just kind of got stale and dry and fell off, or whatever. And I I got to a point where I was tired of that, man. And I had a girlfriend um, from when I was 16 years old until I was 21, man. Until the day after I turned 21, I believe it was over. But yeah, broke my heart, man. And and I spent a lot of time trying to get over that, and nothing was working. I tried to stay, the same person, still getting the same results, shunned, not looked at by women, and nobody's interested. I talked to a few here and there, but it wasn't going anywhere. So I'm like, man, if being this nice, humble person, this quote unquote good guy, is going to get me nowhere, then maybe if I'm a jerk, maybe if I'm an a-hole, then I get more of a response. Maybe if I don't care as much, I get more of a response from women. And so I decided that instead of being in a relationship with a person before I commit myself to that person intimately, uh, I I would just do whatever I wanted to do. And the one time I did it is the only time I did it, and I ended up becoming a father because of it. And I mean, it may be a bit too much information, but I mean, it is what it is. That's what happened. And so, I found out about my son, and I was there for the for the duration of the pregnancy and everything. But man, I tell you what, dude, getting back to what I was saying when I first started this topic is, oh my God, the animosity, the spite, the I I dare say hatred, but I don't know. I can't say for sure, man. But uh, just it's just a lot of clashing and butting heads because it it just wasn't an ideal situation, to be honest with you. And so, going through that, and it was rough. And I thought that over time it would get better. And to a degree, it's gotten a lot better. Um, and we can work. She and I can work through a lot of stuff that we couldn't before. I mean, there's money issues. There's just you know things that she does that I don't agree with. Things that I do, I guess, that she don't agree with. And then there were things that just didn't make sense to me. Then there was uh, police involved in, and not no domestic stuff that I don't believe in. I don't believe in hitting on women. That's another punk sucker move. But uh, but yeah, I mean, I had I had some concerns, so I had to call and make sure that my son was okay, and that's the extent that I'm going to go into that. But there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind behind taking care of a little kid, and when you're doing it separately, like it's hard enough to do it when you're together, uh, especially if you don't really know each other. It's hard enough to do it together and try and figure it out together, but when you're doing it separately, it's like I'm not gonna sit here and say that it's the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life or anything like that or whatever, but it's definitely difficult. It's definitely something that um, is definitely a challenge. I would never, ever, ever, ever say that I would go back on and do it differently. I would never say that I regret it because the end result is the best thing that ever happened to me, and that's my son. And Lord knows where I would be if I had continued down the path that I started, and uh, and I didn't have my son. Like, Lord knows where I would be right now. I really don't know, and it scares me to even think about that. But uh, I'm thankful that God put him in my life, and God scared me straight and put me back on the path of who I'm supposed to be, who I always was. And um, and He said to me, this little boy, you said you wanted your first child to be a boy, so I'm gonna send you a boy, and this little boy is gonna change your life, and this little boy is gonna make everything that was good in you good again. It's gonna make everything that I wanted you to be that much stronger. You're gonna be that much more determined to get things done. You're gonna be that much more successful, and all those little ideas that you used to have in your head to get ahead and make it in life. I'm gonna put more of those ideas in your head. I'm gonna make you, and it's not gonna be just ideas because of him. You're gonna put those ideas into action, and you're gonna make something happen. And I've been doing that, man. Um, and I'm thankful. I'll never ever go back and do anything different that would change who my son is. I would never go back and do anything different because he changed my life and he made me a better person. And um, and I can never thank that little boy enough for he's what he's meant to me. And regardless of the difficulties that I go through with his mom, my number one priority is him, and it'll always be him. And so it keeps me even keeled. It keeps me able to see the bigger picture and work through those issues that are difficult to work through with his mom when we do have our spats. Um, like like I said, man, in these other videos, I ain't gonna get into too many specifics on anything that I'm going through, but I will let you know that I am going through some stuff, so that if you got questions on it when you see these videos, then you can always leave a comment, and maybe I'll address it in the next episode, or when we're able to do Q&A. I'll answer your questions then. Uh, but yeah, man, like if I would word of advice, like I'm not gonna change. Like I said, I'm not gonna change anything, but um, I'm not gonna change anything, and I wouldn't change anything because of what it's done for me. But if if you're looking for um, advice on a situation like this, like you think maybe you need to just forget about the relationship type stuff and just live freely and do what you want to do, and be with who you want to be with, multiple people at one time and all that stuff or whatever. uh, Forget it, man. It's not worth it. Like it's not worth it, because when you start to venture into that kind of a lifestyle and you don't know who you laying down with, then you don't know who you're going to be stuck with for the rest of your life. And that's a true lesson for y'all to think about. Like being promiscuous and all of that stuff, like it may be fun in the moment and everything, but you never know what's going to happen, man. Like if I told y'all if I told y'all how, like the circumstances step by step of how my son was conceived, y'all would probably be looking at me like, man, this is some Lifetime movie type stuff right here. Like he's not telling the truth, but I'm telling you, man, you can. For those of y'all who know me, man, I might tell y'all if you know me and you ask me a question about it, and I might tell y'all. Depending on who you are, I might tell you what happened. But man, it is crazy. It is crazy what transpired to make that happen, man. And like I can't make this stuff up. But um yeah, man. Word of advice, man. If you're looking to um just have fun and all of that, like I mean, yeah, I know some people are gonna do what they're gonna do anyway, um, and that's fine. Make sure you protect yourself. Um, I mean, it can still happen because I did, and I had a kid, so it's not foolproof, people. So yeah, man, if you got to know who you got to know who you with, and if you don't know who you with, then you shouldn't be with them. And it's not to say that it won't work out in the end. It's not to say that it's always a bad situation. It's just that there's just too many factors that have to work together in order to make co-parenting work, man. And it's hard work. And uh, I promise you, if you put in the effort and you try and be logical, you try and be rational, you don't have to always be nice because that's not going to always get it done. But uh, be truthful, be forthcoming, be rational. Uh, avoid the arguments because it's petty. It doesn't mean anything, and it's not what it's not it's not what it's about. What it's about is that child, and you have to keep that in mind. And as long as you keep that in mind, then you guys will be fine. And that's what I'm aiming towards in my situation. Is being my son is 4 years old now, and there's always going to be issues, but um, the aim is to make it better and to make sure that we're on the same page when it comes to him. Like she ain't gotta like me, I ain't gotta like her. That doesn't matter. If we like each other, if we cordial, if we hate each other, it doesn't matter. And it shouldn't matter if you're in that situation. It shouldn't matter to y'all either. It's just making sure that the child is taken care of. That's the only priority, man. And there's going to be relationships that happen. Um, be as patient as you can with that, because there's nothing you can really do about it on your end. You can't stop your child's mother or your child's father from being with another person. Um, you just have to make sure that your child is remaining the number one priority between you and the child's mom, and you and the person that you choose to be with. And the other parent, on the other hand, has to make sure that the same thing is true in their on their side. And if not, then it'll cause some issues. I've had that come into play in my situation as well. And I'll be honest with you. uh, there would have been some head busting going on, like for real. Like I may seem like a calm, docile person and everything, but when it comes to certain people that in my life, namely my family, don't mess with them. And I ain't talking about killing nobody, but I'm talking about knocking heads off, and I'm not playing with that. Like, yeah, I'm not playing with that. Like, I'll tell you a little tidbit or whatever. Uh, so I used to see my son pretty much whenever I wanted to, if I was free, because of the job that I had. I had some free time during the day, so I would go and see my son. Whenever I could. Now he's in school now, so I mean I can't do that either way now. So, but before his mom met this guy or whatever, um, we'd meet during the week, on the weekends. It didn't matter. And then on my days off, then I had my son. And after all of the court proceedings and everything was over with. But for whatever reason, this guy thought that when I would spend time with my son, whether it be she come over or we meet somewhere, he'd have a problem with it because he thought that we were still sleeping together or whatever. So he decides to tell her that she's no longer allowed to see me, which means that he's telling me and telling her that I'm not allowed to see my son whenever I want to see my son. And that rubbed me the wrong way. And I'm like, nah, you don't got that say, bro. And so I'm like, I want to meet this dude and let him know what's up, let him know where I'm at, and let him know where he is at, because his place is not anywhere near in the realm of telling me when I can see my son and when I can't see my son. And so I'm like, we need to. I'm talking to her, talking to my son's mom. I'm like, we need to set this up. We need to get this straightened out right now, because he's not going to do this. He's not going to dictate when I can and can't see my son. I don't care what kind of relationship y'all got going on. That ain't got nothing to do with my son. And he need to know that. And I'm gonna let him know that. So where we meeting at? And she comes back to me with, uh, it's not a good idea. And so I'm like, not a good idea. What do you mean it's not a good idea? I need to know who's around my son. I need to know who's trying to make these decisions on when I can and can't see my son. And so she's like, next words out of her mouth were, it it'll be a problem if y'all meet each other. So I'm like, what the, it's a problem. So I'm like, okay, on site. Um on site, it's a problem. Then if anytime I see him, I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to knock him out. Like, I don't I'm not I'm not that dude that's going to go look for trouble. But hey, if trouble come looking for me, man, trouble better look out. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, man, that's the kind of stuff. I mean, I know I've been talking for like 40 minutes or whatever. I hope I can try and trim this down for y'all. But it's just some of the thoughts that I wanted to talk about. Like I said, man, this is just talk with Swank. So I'm just talking. And if you feel like it's too long, leave a comment down below. If you feel like I made some points, then leave a comment down below. I'd love to see some feedback. Love to hear how y'all feel about what I said. And if I can, even if you got any pointers on how I can condense them down if I need to or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Uh, do that for me. And I would love, love, love to expand on this and bring y'all more topics. If there's something that y'all want me to talk about, then leave that comment down there below too. Uh, I don't know if I thoroughly explained myself, but like I said, I've been going for 40 minutes now, and I ain't no syndicated radio show or talk show or nothing like that. And this is my first episode, so I'll I'm a cut it short right here. But just to give y'all a preview of what I can do, and with more work and more time put into it, and I can give y'all some real content and some real stuff to talk about, some real things to think about. And like I said, man, hopefully, my goal with all of this and everything that I'm doing on this channel is to motivate, inspire, and change the world. And if I can do any of that for y'all today, and if I did any of that for y'all today, then I reached my goal, and I'm ever so thankful for that. And you know, that's that's all I want to do. That's all I want to accomplish here, is to motivate y'all, to get y'all thinking about what y'all gonna do, to get y'all to get to the next step, to think about what's gonna make things better for you, and then to inspire you by getting you out there, actually putting those thoughts into actions and changing the world, man. You change your perspective on you change your perspective on what it is that you're seeing, what it is that you're doing. You've changed the world. Simply put, I'm gonna keep grinding. I'm gonna keep striving at this. I'm gonna get better at it. And I'll see y'all on the next episode, man. For real. Leave comments, like the video. If you have not subscribed to the channel already, then please do so. Let me know what y'all think of this first episode. And I'm thankful if y'all stuck with me for this long, man. And I'll see y'all on the next go round. Oh yeah, P.S. I forgot. Um, so y'all heard the little jingle thing at the beginning of this video, right? So I'm gonna need somebody who's adept at, little piano play, to add some notes in the background to that I can use. I'll shout you out. I can't give you nothing because my channel ain't big enough yet, but I'll shout you out for providing that little jingle tone in the background behind the singing. And This has been episode 1 of Just Talk with your boy Swank. And one more time from the Dad Cup, get a big swig. Mm, that's good stuff. All right, it's been Swank, y'all. I'm out.